let's get to our next game, that little known title that no one's ever heard of called Oxygen Not Included. This is, of course, a game Shark is very well aware of, and it's a game that really, I think, if we look at things at this and Don't Starve, have been like the breakout super successes from Clay.
Yeah, I've never heard of this game. What is this game again? What is it about?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what this game is.
I think, have you almost like broken your computer because you left the game on for so long and started to slow your computer down?
Well, no. It wasn't because I left my computer on. It was because I built my base so big that there was, I don't know, 10 billion things for the game to render. And I had put like 500 mods in it, and I had modded it to where like I think the normal maps are like 100 by 300 or something, and I had modded it to where it was like 500 by like 800, and like I had uncovered the entire map and built all the way through it, and that was a lot of resources,
Auction not included. Let's get into this with the thumbnail, and the thumbnail, I like it, but I'm not loving it.
Yeah, like the name is clear. The characters look really good. The characters are definitely pointing towards the name, and you can see how kind of there's a triangle forming between the characters and the name, and like the structure is there.
Mm-hmm.
And the only issue I see with this is that the background behind it is kind of generic.
Yeah, like it doesn't tell you what this game is about.
Yeah.
I mean, it sticks out, but it's one of those thumbnails that I feel like if you're looking at Auction Not Included, you already know what this game is. Like, it's at that point. Yeah, like I don't feel like the thumbnail is selling you on this game.
But that's because Clay's Clay, Nintendo's Nintendo, and such, not because this thumbnail is the best thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
I think
thank you, Pony.
I think this thumbnail works for them and does not necessarily degrade them. But if we're going to talk about consider that Clay is not a well-known name kind of thing, and look at it that way, this would not be the best grade.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a bad grade. I think maybe BB plus.
I think I'll go with solid B. Like, there's nothing that I would point to this, I would say this is bad, or, they screwed up on it. But there's just... It's just like...
the background.
It's just like not selling me on this. And that's something that you have to understand, like, for people watching us right now, that, so, like, as we talk about the overall marketing, your studio, if you do things right, becomes a part of your marketing machine. Clay Entertainment, Kid Fox, Nintendo, Valve, Blizzard, all like the names that have succeeded or have had repeated success, they reach that point where their name kind of sells the game before the game itself. And Clay is at that point.
Yeah. So, before we move on to the trailer, we need to point out that that's going to cause an exception. Mm-hmm. Because at the beginning of trailers, you never want to put your studio name.
Unless, of course, you are already famous. If you already have that clout built in.
If you're Nintendo, if you're Sony, if you're, Clay Entertainment, if you're anybody that's sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of games.
Yeah, if you're recognized to that level, you stick your name at the very first thing.
Yeah. But if you're not, which most likely you're not, if you're watching the show.
And if you are, come on and we'll talk about your game on the podcast, if you're that famous.
Yeah.
So, let's get to the trailer.
And we're only looking at the first trailer.
Yeah.
There's like 40 trailers here.
Yeah.
Alright, let's start it.
Alright. So again, start with Clay.
Which is good in this case. Bad in pretty much every other case.
We have our characters showing up. We have kind of the time lapse.
We have the intro, and then it's slowly building up.
And the music is matching the construction.
Yep.
We have the mix of
cue to the music,
animation with the in-game.
Yep. Nice polished animations and a little bit of funny.
I like the different biomes they showed.
Really just showing all these different cool things about the game and what you can do in it.
Yeah. And again, I think this is really good, of Clay's art style. That the characters aren't super detailed, but they're very expressive.
And you can see that expression because they're zoomed in on the game. They're not showing these far out shots where you see the whole entire thing. They're showing they're showing way zoomed in, and that is absolutely key.
Yeah, and if you stop at the minute 9-second mark and you see the kind of splash logo at the end, I think that would make a far better thumbnail art for this game.
I do too. And the issue with this call to action, which is what we're looking at here, is that there's no available on Steam, available on Switch or wherever it's available. I don't know if it's available anyplace besides Steam, but it doesn't tell you it's available on Steam, and I know it is.
I hope it's available on Steam. Yeah, and
dun, dun, dun.
Overall, this is a very solid trailer, and I think what's very interesting is that if you scan through this whole trailer, there is no UI. Everything is basically been custom. You zoom in, it shows the art, the music is matched, and this is really solid.
I think that you need UI in some of your trailers, specifically at the beginning, but you need the UI just long enough to explain what kind of the core gameplay loop is. And the thing about the Oxygen Not Included core gameplay loop, seeing the UI isn't going to help you understand it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why they would have no UI at any point.
They went for entertainment for this trailer, and I think it worked for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you're not getting, kind of, a clear, what kind of genre this is, it does tell you all kinds of things that you can do in this game and kind of how it works. And it gets across, maybe not a specific genre, but it definitely gets across the survival, it gets across several aspects of the genre that enough people can figure it out.
Yeah. And I like the part when they're all vomiting. that little animated there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the length is good. It feels faster than what you're seeing, and that's what you want. And I think what's really impressive is that this is a colony sim game. This is not a super high speed action game, but the trailer feels it feels very well paced. Because
you always want your game trailer to feel faster than what it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch a minute-long trailer and then be like, God, that felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This feels like... What you want to do is watch a minute-long trailer and be like, wait, it's over?
Yeah. This feels like
10 seconds.
30, 40 seconds, really.
Yeah. You want it to feel a lot shorter than it is. Because you know what they say. When you're having fun, time flies.
Yeah.
And you want them to have fun. So you want the time to be shorter, feel like it's shorter than the actual time, because you want them to have fun while they're watching it.
Yeah. So trailer-wise, I think this gets a high grade. The only thing that I think would hit it a little bit is the lack of a solid call to action at the end.
Yeah. The call to action is the only thing I would ding this thing for. But with all the cool and funny animations they have, there's no reason for them to not have this after call to action, little funny clip at the end, to just take it all the way over to the top. If they fix their call to action, put whatever platforms is on. Just if it's just Steam, then put just available on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And if they just put that one logo on there, and that was the only platform they were on, that would be an A+.
Yeah.
If they then added an after scene where really funny kind of thing, that would be an S rank.
Yeah. I think I'm fine with giving this an A, like a solid A. Maybe, I think that's good for it.
Yeah, I'm giving it a solid A because I'm dinging it for the call to action.
Yeah, and the thing is, like as we said with the last game, like as we get higher and higher, it's harder and harder to kind of like move up, like going from like A to A plus or A plus to S. But yeah,
and it's also far easier to get knocked down.
Yeah,
the higher you are, the easier it is that just one little bitty minor thing off of perfection.
It's fighting game rules.
Entire grade.
It's LO ratings here. So let's get into these screenshots, and I'm pretty sure all these are original.
Josh also gave it a solid A, and he's got how many hours do you have in Oxygen not included?
Like not as 2? Much as you. Definitely not.
You got like 2?
I think I have more than that, but let's see. I have 23.
Oh wow, you got a lot more than I thought you did.
But
still ain't got nothing though.
So I think all the screenshots are original. They are zoomed in. There's only one screenshot that shows UI, but I think it's a really good.
It's a UI screen because it's showing you the UI information for that.
2 of them. The second to last one shows the water piping system. Yeah,
Well, the 2 they show UI, they're showing more than just UI. They're showing the UI and the other UI.
Yeah, I mean, really, I don't think there's anything I would ding them on for the screenshots. They have above the minimum of 5. They're all, really expressive about this game.
I would. There's nothing. There's not like nothing I would ding them on. There's something. There's the fact that they cropped them and went that extra mile. And I would give them bonus points for that. So I would say these screenshots are an S plus, or an S rather, not an S plus.
I'll go with an A plus. I think they're really great, and we still haven't really gotten a metric for what S is yet.
S is going beyond an A plus, which is what I think the zoomed in screenshots are doing. But we've given stuff with 5 decent to good screenshots an A plus, and this not only has a lot more than 5, it also has like the custom zoom in and like no UI in a lot of their screenshots. And they've gone that extra mile.
Yeah. All right. I'll go with an A plus. I'll just to balance things out, so it doesn't seem like we're too positive for it. I'll go with an F. As Pony said.
Pony is just trolling.
All right, but yeah, still very well done. So let's go to the about this game section. So. As we were saying about the last game, in terms of like the difference between a standard GIF and kind of going above and beyond, like these would be considered, I think, above and beyond. They're not the absolute top of the top that we've seen. Again, I didn't know go to Rise of the Slime, but they're still really good. They're shortened. They're not like square. They're more rectangular.
They're short. They're short GIFs, and they're also
the transition from the start to the end is really good.
And they transition, do that transition blend between when it restarts.
Yeah. I love the second one with the character just like vomiting while the other 2 are getting massaged. And again, like this is one of the things that Clay really does well with their aesthetics. Like they're not superly detailed, but you can just see like how well like the emoting is. You got the 2 characters like resting. You got the other one vomiting in the middle.
Yeah, and I cannot tell you how many times I have seen that exact thing play out in the game.
Looped vomit, exactly. That should be on every S plus page right there. If you have a proper looping vomiting GIF, you'll get bonus points. But another point that I want to bring up or touch on, every section has a corresponding GIF that works with it.
And they're also short.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer than a paragraph.
Yep. Again, no more than 4. Well, one is like maybe 3 1/4 lines. But again,
no more than a paragraph. A paragraph's 4 lines.
Mm-hmm. Great interlocking piping. We have a GIF for that. We have take charge of power. The GIF works for that. And again, this is the structure that you want.
Yeah. This is what you want. But there could be bonus points here that they did not go for.
And that would be custom banners.
Mm-hmm. They could have upgraded from the blue text to custom banners.
Mm-hmm.
They could have put something above the first GIF there.
Yeah.
There's no blue text there.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been a custom banner as well.
Yeah.
But not having custom banners isn't dinging you.
That's extra credit.
That's bonus points. Yeah.
Yeah,
but they did get extra points for these GIFs because these are really, really solid GIFs. They're custom. They loop well.
Mm-hmm.
They look great.
You can tell attention and time was put into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think grade-wise for this, you think A+?
I think A+. I think this is not close. This is not far from getting a S rank.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs custom banners.
Yeah, the custom banners, easy S. I would not argue with you on that one.
But Slime got a better grade because it got an S because it had all that.
Yeah. This would, I think, be maybe top 5 of About This Game sections.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Alright, let's go up.
We did a good job on that. To the title card.
Yep. And this is where they're going to get dinged.
Yep.
So, we have 2 genre tags. Again, minimum is 3.
Although they have some of the most important ones.
Indie simulation. They could have used single player. Do you think strategy would work, or do you think that may be too thin?
Probably.
Stretch? Okay.
They probably could have worked that one.
Mm-hmm. Developer, publisher. The franchise thing is new. I'm seeing developers use that. I just don't know, how this is, what this is affecting in terms of the algorithm.
Yeah, I think that, the Quay Entertainment franchise is not a franchise. That's a developer publisher.
Yeah. So
it'd be the Oxygen Not Included, franchise, or the Don't Starve universe, or the Duplicate universe, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would not be Quay Entertainment, and that is definitely not something you want.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I looked at the Spaced Out store page for the DLC, and it's just nowhere near as good as the main one for this.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. So the problem with this title card is that there's relatively little contact information. There's no Twitter, no YouTube, no Facebook, no Discord channel. They haven't. The only contact they have is the website.
Yeah. And they have no excuse to not put their YouTube channel on here.
Yeah.
They have no excuse not to put their Twitter on here.
Yeah.
They may have an excuse not to put their Discord on here because they're massive, but
you need at least...
I probably wouldn't do that anyway, even if you were massive.
You need something of a social media presence on this title card. Because remember, like we said, the 2 roles of the title card, 1 for Steam to promote and know what your game is, and 2 for consumers and influencers and streamers to be able to easily find you and get in touch with you.
And some makes a good point. Would Clay be considered an indie? And first off, we have to ask ourselves, what is an indie?
Oh, no. What's a road?
Indie is short for independent, meaning that you're independently owned, not a corporation. Meaning that you know, there is a quote unquote owner or set of owners, and not, a board of owners.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a corporation. They're not filing corporate taxes. They're filing independent
Yeah.
taxes. And by that means is, fact is when you do corporations, you have to have I think 6 or 7 boards, which is just between board members, I think is over 100 members. Seeing how they only have 35, they're obviously not that.
Yeah.
So
They would.
they're indie. Now, when we look at what's their name that made Cyberpunk,
CD Projekt.
they're filed as a corporation. They're filed as a corporation. They are listed as a corporation. They have a corporate structure with all the boards and everything. They are definitely not indie.
Like Clay would be again top of the mark in terms of indie. They're AAA indie. Is that safely extreme?
I think they're like double I or something.
Double IA. Let's just throw letters in and see where it works. So let's get back to this. So grade-wise, it's not the best title card.
No, definitely not.
And it doesn't meet the minimum standards of its genre tags. It's lacking information. I'm thinking in the D range, maybe DD plus.
Yeah, I think I'd go solid D
Mm-hmm.
because the franchise doesn't make any sense to be Clay Entertainment franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they called it the Clayaverse, that would make sense.
There we
if they
go.
called it the Duplicate verse, if they
Clay Cinematic Universe.
yeah, they could have done that too.
So, with that said, let's get to the final grade. So,
the core to that grade is the trailer,
and we gave that I think an A+.
The trailer a what?
I think we gave that an A+, yeah.
So
the title or the thumbnail, we gave that a B.
So that's going to bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
The thumbnails I gave an S,
and I gave an A+, so that will probably keep it stabilized or
either hold it or bring it up just slightly.
Mm-hmm. We gave the About This Game, I think, an A+.
Yep, which will hold it.
Mm-hmm. And we gave the title card a D+. So that will bring it down. So the question is, how much do the other elements bring it down from an A+?
Well, for me, the screenshots bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
For you, they just hold.
Mm-hmm.
The title, the thumbnail, and the title card definitely bring it down on both of us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what I would say is the extra S for the thumbnails, does that fully counter what the other two do? And I would say close, but not quite there.
Yeah.
And with that closest, but not quite there, I don't think there's enough left to take the grade down.
Yeah.
From the trailer. So I said the whole page is A+.
Yeah. I think I would agree with you. I feel that even the things that hurt it don't really, I think, take away from it. And it's just, like we said, when we start getting, very high up, it becomes, so much harder to make those, little incremental, going from an A to an A+, or an A+ to an S. So, yeah.
Because, your trailer is a vast majority of your grade.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 85% of your grade. So if you mess up on your trailer, you really messed up.
Yeah, and
but if you really send your trailer really out the top, then you're pretty solid at that point. You can screw up pretty much everything else and still be really good shape.
Yeah. But, like we've said, when it comes to the store page itself, we grade everything together. You think you can include a vid clip? Not sure what nobody is referencing. Yeah. Do you mean either. These little, these little animatics that they had, or just little cartoons?
I mean, they do have the little cartoons spliced into the trailer. Although I think they should have went the extra mile and put a little funny one at the end after the call to action, and had that call to action be better.
Yeah. So hopefully, if you can give us a little bit more detail about that one, nobody. But yeah, like I feel that this is just overall really solid.
So what you're saying is nobody's talking to you?
Yeah, like the only two things I would ding this page on would be the thumbnail and the title card. But again,
the call to action in the trailer.
Yeah. But again, the thing everyone has to understand is that Clay is one of those exceptions. They've reached that marketing clout point where the studio is the marketing. Oh, okay.
But even outside of that, I mean, like, this is all solid.
Yeah.
Like, but even if you were a new indie kind of thing, even if I were to make this store page kind of thing, if anybody in here were to make this store page, the grade would not change, except for one thing. The Clay Entertainment logo at the beginning.
Yeah.
That would be a second ding, which would probably take that down to an A.
Yeah.
Which would then hold that grade. Or maybe it might shift it up because the about this game page.
Okay.
So I meant like.
Yeah. So still like, and again like
A plus, even if you as a unknown indie made this exact page. So the only difference between this page and how you should market your game is don't have that logo at the beginning unless you're Nintendo, Clay Entertainment, Sony, or somebody super famous. Do not have your logo at the beginning of the trailer.
Yeah. And I also again want to point out the About This Game page or the About This Game section for a second that it is a long. This is a long section, but the reason that it works is that it's broken up really nicely. Like if you have the content, show it off. Like, they could have made this shorter. They could have only had maybe 2 or 3 GIFs and 2 or 3 sections. But it works for them because everything is on point.
Yeah. And just imagine how long this would be if they didn't customize their thumbnail to be skinny. This would have been just scroll. There's just been so much scrolling.
Yep.
And that's probably part of the reason why they did it. But it's also a good thing to do, even if you don't have that much to show.
Yeah, again, like this structure, this is what you want to shoot for, what you want to aim for with your About This Game page. Like
this is not the best About This Game page we've ever seen. But this would probably be in the top 5.
Yeah. The only thing we said that would go above and beyond would be the custom banners for each section.
Yeah, the custom banners, and if they did custom banners, and if they did like way over the top GIFs like Slime did. And Slime did both of those things, and it got an S rank for its store page, better than the A plus that this is getting. Slime did amazing on their store on their About This Game page.
Oh, well, Clay was
the best About This Game page we've ever seen.
Clay was bought by Tencent now?
What was bought by Tencent?
Clay was, I think.
No. I believe Tencent owns a small portion of it. But being partly owned doesn't make them a corporation. And it also doesn't mean Tencent has any kind of autonomy in Clay.
If they own like 51% of the studio, that would be a different story.
Yeah, and probably part of the deal they signed with them coming in, and we don't know this, but we can only speculate. But I would assume that Clay says, yeah, we'll only let you buy part of it if you provide us money and you have no other involvement. Other than you pay us money and you collect money, no other involvement at all. You don't have any say-so on anything we do.
All right,
which
but
is still not a good thing, but it's a not bad thing because like the bad the what keeps it from being a good thing is
mm-hmm.
Tencent being Tencent, you know, and you don't want to feed that animal, and that's bad. But
Mm-hmm.
I
All
would
right.
assume that every other part of that was good.
Yeah. But we kind of went over our time for our stream. We were trying to keep these on the shorter side, but we spent a lot more in terms of detail. So I hope that everyone enjoyed this, whether you're watching this live or watching each individual part.
And if you enjoyed it, make sure to lick the smash button and smash the like button for both Josh's channel on Game Wisdom and my channel, which is currently named Nexus Games LLC, although that will be changing when we get our new name.
Mm-hmm. Same
And
shark, different name.
and also, look down in the description for both of our on both of our channels. You'll see links to the other person's channel, as well as links to both Josh's and my Discord, Josh's and my Twitter, and so on and so forth. All the links to everything is down in the description of both of our videos.
And again, if you are a developer working on an upcoming game, a game that just came out, or you're just looking for overall feedback and advice and want to submit a game, please get in touch with either one of us. Because we are always looking for more games, and it's great to have the developers on. If you're watching this record right now, we had one of the developers from Evertry, the first game of this week, watching from the first segment, and they offer advice and they comment on what we were saying. So please get in touch with us.
Yep.
But that is going to do it. If you want to catch these shows live, we do them Thursday afternoons on both of our channels. And if you want to know more about game design and game dev topics, tune in for the Safely Extreme cast Sundays, starting around 4:30 ET.
Yep.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. So with that said, come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where some of the art and science of games. And until our next show, take care.
See ya.